Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another card video. Today I'm using the You Are Loved stamp set from CZ Design, and I'm going to use one of the flag shapes that has 5 bars on it, or 5 stripes, and I'm going to be stamping it on the like an A2 sized piece of cardstock, and I'm going to be coloring it all in. I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, so I'm going to be stamping all of these on a diagonal axis, and I'm also going to be rotating them back and forth so that I get sort of a different pattern other than just plain horizontal stripes. So I first used a ruler and a pencil just to mark on that axis, and then I'm using intense black ink from Simon Says Stamp to stamp all of these flag shapes. I'm using that ink in particular because I plan to color this entire background with Copic markers. So today's video, and more specifically my Instagram post that goes along with it, is part of a blog hop celebrating pride and showing support for all of our LGBTQIA+ family members and friends and just everyone out there. I've always had a place in my heart for this particular community, and I just love all of you, and I accept you and I support you, and I wanted to show that. And I know some people have big issues with that. I think the world's a little bit of a better place that way these days, but we still have lots more to grow. And so I know some of you are going to say, well, I don't want to see this. I don't support this. And you might even unsubscribe, and that's okay. You do that. You do whatever is going to work out for you. For me, I choose to love others and support them. And when they say who they are, I believe them and I support them. So for today's card, the flag that I'm coloring is for transgender pride. I have people in my life who are transgender, and I support them and I love them, and I want them to know that they are loved. So that is where this card is going today. I hope you guys get a good idea. I mean, besides the support and the meaning behind this card, I hope you guys get some artistic ideas for what to do with different types of stamps. I think more like square-shaped medallion stamps, you could do a similar idea with rotating them and stamping them in a pattern, going all the way across your card. Even doing this with like circular stamps, just have fun with the smaller individual stamps and create a pattern out of them. I think that could be really, really cool. So I use 2 colors of blue, B12 and B14 for the blue stripes, and I'm using R83 and R85 for the pink. And generally on the trans flag, they have the white stripe that's just completely white. But since I was adding a little bit of shading on the outer edges of each one of these stripes, I decided that I would come in with a very, very pale gray. It's just going to give a little bit of dimension on the edges of those white stripes. So I'm using an N1, which is neutral gray, just to give a little bit of color on those edges, mostly because I added some more shading on the edges of the stripes with the pink and the blue. And in order to make this pattern really stand out, I decided to grab my 100 black marker and just color in those gaps in between each one of these flag shapes. This is going to give me a really cool pattern, have some black areas. It makes it a little bit more dramatic and helps them stand out. I think it really differentiates where each flag is. You could definitely do another color. I thought black was just really nice because it kept it very neutral and made the only 2 colors be the ones that are on the flag. So I filled in all of those lines, and then I'm going to work on my greeting, my main greeting area. I'm going to use the You Are Loved die set from Simon Says Stamp. This is one that I lettered a while back. It's one of my favorites, and I know you guys love it too. It's been made into a wood block stamp as well. I'll link that down below if you're interested in the stamp version of this versus the die. But I cut out this particular die 3 times in white and 1 time in black. I'm going to layer the white die cuts just on top, one on top of each other, and until there's 3 layers deep. I'm using some liquid adhesive for that. I'm using Honeybee Precision Tip Glue. And then for the very top layer, I've die cut the same greeting out of black cardstock from Gina K. And this is going to give kind of a cool white core on the bottom and then black on top. And then I cut out the shadow area from the die out of some white cardstock as well, and adhered the entire thing all together. So now I have this really fun dimensional greeting, and I'm going to pair it with some Reverse Pride sentiment strips from CZ Design. This one that says, "We stand with you" is perfect. And I'm using a craft knife and a ruler just to cut that out and get those top and bottom lines straight. And then I use my scissors to cut it out of the sheet. I'm cutting down my background just a little bit to 3 3/4 wide by 5 inches tall. That's so that when I adhere it to a card front, it's just a little bit smaller. Prepped my card front out of some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound cardstock. I scored that at 5.5. And then I adhered my Copic colored background directly on top using some foam adhesive. I'm then going to put some liquid glue, that same Honeybee precision tip glue, on the back of my large greeting. And I'm going to cut down a little thin strip of foam tape to go on the back of that secondary greeting. Just cutting it to the right size. And then I'm going to adhere it below that large greeting. Now, just to set this greeting apart a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put the hearts from the die. You can definitely leave them off if you don't want to use them, but I added some dots of glue and just picked up those hearts with my tweezers and just put the black hearts directly in the center of those circular letter O shapes. And then to make this a little more special, I grabbed some glossy accents, and I'm going to add the glossy accents on top of the black lettering. It's going to give it a glossy sheen. It's going to look really, really awesome once it's completely dry. Now, when you apply glossy accents, it has a little bit of a cloudy look to it. It doesn't show the color of the cardstock underneath in its true color. But you'll notice in my final photos of the card, I let this dry overnight and took photos the next morning. It is completely clear, and it gives the most fun, glossy, shiny finish to this greeting. So that's my card for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to see lots of inspiration and support for the LGBTQIA+ community, please head over to my Instagram and hop along. This is a multi-day hop. There is so much love in the card making community, and we can't help but express it. So thank you so much for your support, and I will be back very soon with another card video. Thanks for watching.